This is what my college dorm desk setup would have looked like if it weren't for COVID-19. And by the way, before we start this video, everything I mentioned is going to be linked in the description down below for your convenience. I also have a couple coupon codes if you're interested. And also a little bit of backstory before we start. I graduated high school in 2020, so last year, and I also applied to a bunch of colleges, but I got rejected by every single one of them except University of California Davis, or simply UC Davis, which waitlisted me. Luckily, I got accepted by UC Davis for computer engineering, but COVID hit and I realized I didn't want to go because after 4 years, I'd end up paying $100,000 or more, and that's even assuming I graduate in 4 years. And with the first couple years being an online education, and you're not even guaranteed a job, so what is the point? I didn't want to burden my parents or myself with what is essentially the down payment for a house. So, I'm currently attending community college and finishing all my general education classes. I'm also making videos at home, both on YouTube and TikTok. And that's basically why I am not currently in a dorm. If I was, this is what the setup would look like. Let's start off with the desk. This is the FlexiSpot EN1 height adjustable desk. It's an electric sit stand desk, so you can leave it at the current position if you're sitting down to work, or you can plug it into an outlet and adjust it so that you can stand and work comfortably. And standing personally makes me feel more productive. I believe sitting all day is also detrimental for your health, but I still do that anyway. Ideally, I'd be able to bring this to a college dorm, but if we're being realistic, this probably would be a hassle to bring because you'd probably have to get a U-Haul truck, and if your dorm's on like the 15th floor of a building, good luck trying to bring this in. So we can just leave this at the default height, which is 28 inches, and just pretend that this is a regular dorm table. But this would be such a cool desk to bring because it goes all the way up to 47.6 inches. It supports up to 154 pounds and you get 48 by 24 inches of real estate, which is very useful, especially if you have a keyboard and mouse as well as your homework and other notebooks on the desk. For the chair, I would definitely want to bring the autonomous Ergo Chair Pro. This thing is amazing. I've been using it for a little bit over a year. You get a mesh backrest, which is ergonomically designed, and if you're sitting around all day and you're starting to feel hot, this thing is pretty breathable in the back, so you should have improved ventilation. This chair feels amazing because it aligns perfectly with my back. In a perfect world, I would be able to bring this, but if I'm being honest, this would be difficult to lug around, so I'd probably have to settle for the included dorm chair. Let's go over the PC next. At first glance, you probably would assume that this build is like a Dell pre-build, but you couldn't be any more wrong because inside this low-key Ghost S1 small form factor PC case is the NVIDIA RTX 3070 Founders Edition graphics card from Best Buy. My friend managed to get it on the day of release, and then sold it to me for retail plus tax, so he is an awesome friend. But I did pay him back by helping him build his own PCs. And by the way, if you're curious about temperatures, the max temp I recorded with Heaven Benchmark, just stress testing the GPU, is about 78 degrees Celsius. And even with the most intense engineering homework, I'm probably not going to run this setup at 100% utilization, so it probably won't reach that temperature. For the CPU, I'm using the AMD Ryzen 5 3600X that Asus provided. You get 6 cores and 12 threads on the Zen 2 architecture, and it's a pretty fast CPU, probably good enough for anything I would throw at it. Sitting on top of the CPU is the Noctua L12 Ghost S1 Edition cooler. They sent it over a year ago, and it's a pretty great cooler. Max temp with Cinebench R23, just stress testing it. I recorded about 82 degrees Celsius, and yet again, probably not going to run it at 100% utilization unless I'm rendering videos, but even then, probably only render for like 10 minutes. For the motherboard, I'm using the Asus RG Strix B550i that Asus also provided. It's a great mini ITX motherboard that supports Ryzen 3000 and 5000 series CPUs. For storage, I'm using a SATA-based 128GB SSD. Just for the Windows OS, I just kind of got a basic one. I don't need the fastest boot times. For mass storage, I have a 1TB M.2 NVMe SSD from Oracle. That's just to store all the photos, videos, documents, homework files, but it's probably never going to be filled up. For the power supply, I'm using the Corsair SF600 80 Plus Platinum power supply. I would say it's kind of overkill for this build. It does fit inside this case because it's an SFX power supply, and it should work for any upgrade I would throw at it. Besides an RTX 3080 Ti, which won't even fit inside this case. And I was actually thinking about bringing this if I were to move to a college dorm, but if someone were to ever break into my dorm and steal my PC when I'm in class, this would not be good. Yeah, so I'm not gonna bring this. This PC is more unassuming, so hopefully they'll assume it's like a pre-built or something. Don't bother taking it. Fairly certain it should handle anything I throw at it. Like 3D design that I might do in any engineering classes, you get 8GB of VRAM. Oh, I forgot to mention 32GB of 3600MHz RAM. It's the G-Skill Trident Z Royals. You don't really even see the RGB because of the CPU cooler, but I had it lying around, so I just threw it in that build. 32GB of RAM allows you to have a ton of tabs open. It's more than I would need for Google Chrome and Google Docs and stuff. Let's go on to the monitor. I would 100% bring the Lapel 15.6 inch 1080p 60 Hz monitor because it's pretty much the size of a laptop. Portable monitor, so you can bring around pretty much everywhere. Folds kind of like a laptop with the included leather folio. It also has USB-C as well as micro HDMI input, so you can hook up an iPad, a Mac, or a phone. It also has included speakers, which don't sound amazing, but they aren't that bad. And it definitely saves space on your desk because you don't have to bring extra speakers. Let's talk about the peripherals on the desk. For the mouse, I'm just using a basic wireless Logitech mouse. I was thinking about showcasing the Logitech G203 LightSync mouse. This is a wired gaming mouse. I bought this for around $20 in the holiday season on Amazon, but I didn't really like the extra bulk of the cable, plus it also doesn't really look that nice on the desk, and this setup isn't really meant for gaming. A basic wireless mouse should be fine. For the keyboard, I'm using an Pro 2. It's a 60% layout, so it's not too big. You can kind of just throw it into your backpack. I'm using it in the Bluetooth mode just because, yet again, I don't want the extra clutter of cables. This has Gate-All-Around brown switches, not my favorite, but I'm not gonna bring my TLS V2 custom keyboard that costed way more than that because I don't want it stolen. And this keyboard works perfectly fine. I have no complaints about it. And if you're just doing homework, answering emails, might be a little bit noisy though, so I don't know, you might want to consider a membrane keyboard. For the mousepad, I'm not going to use an RGB mousepad that covers the span of this entire desk. This is a 13-inch by 11-inch mousepad from Gutsy Aiden. He's a great friend of mine. I purchased this from him and it works well. The glide is pretty good, but you're not really gaming on this, so does glide really matter? For the lamp, you gotta have good lighting on your desk setup. Otherwise, you're gonna have eye strain and you're probably not gonna be able to see your homework very well. Plus, dorm room lighting usually isn't the best. This lamp is from Costco. I don't even remember when we got it. It was a few years ago. If I can still find it, I'll try to link it in the description. It is an amazing lamp. I 100% recommend it because I've been using it in my bedroom pretty much every day for the past few years. The brightness is adjustable. The color temperature is also adjustable. If you're studying, you can set it to a cooler temperature to help you focus. If you're about to go to sleep, you can set it to a warmer color temperature to help your eyes relax. And if you're just chilling, I guess you can leave it to a neutral color temperature. It also has a built-in fan. So if you're getting hot in your dorm, you can just turn on the fan. It also has 2 USB ports in the back, so you can also charge your phone. It's pretty much everything you could want in a lamp, and it wasn't that expensive. I also have a monster surge protector at the bottom of the desk. I didn't bother with cable management because this setup is designed for more practicality in mind than aesthetics. Who really cares about cable management in a dorm setup? I mean, you just want to put all your stuff on the desk. Everything's just plugged into a surge protector because if there's ever a power surge, I wouldn't want the PC to be damaged. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the desk setup. Mostly no frills. I'm not going to include anything weird or unnecessary in here. Moving to a dorm is a difficult process. You have to carry a ton of stuff, and I want to bring as little stuff as possible. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. As a reminder, I'll have everything linked in the description down below. And also, comment down below what you think would be a great addition to this setup, or what you'd bring to your dorm if you were moving out. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on some cool product ideas for college students. So yeah, thank you for watching.